Nuclear war. We hear these words all the time, but very few people really understand what it would look like in real life. Not in movies, not in video games, but in the real world. If nuclear weapons were launched tonight, what would actually happen in the first 24 hours? Who would know first? How fast would the missiles arrive? What would happen to power, the internet, airplanes, money, and to normal people? In this video, we walk through a simple, realistic picture of the first day of a large nuclear war between major powers. This is trendScope Global. If you want clear and simple explanations of global conflicts and military power, watch till the end and subscribe for more. Let's start at the moment nobody ever wants to see. Somewhere in the world, a decision is made. Maybe it is a full surprise attack. Maybe it is a response to a false alarm that leaders believe is real. Maybe a normal war between nuclear powers has already gone out of control. Whatever the reason, a large number of nuclear missiles are launched almost at the same time. Land-based missiles rise out of underground silos. Submarine missiles burst from below the ocean surface and streak into the sky. Long-range bombers may also take off, loaded with nuclear weapons, as backup. Within seconds, early warning satellites and powerful radars know that something is wrong. They see the hot plumes from the missiles. They see many objects rising fast into the upper atmosphere on strange paths. In the first few minutes, early warning systems in places like the United States and Russia are trying to answer one simple question. Is this real? Operators in command centers see missile tracks appearing on their screens. They double-check with other radars and satellites. Computer systems run automatic checks to see if this is a glitch or a real attack. At the same time, phones are ringing in underground bunkers and government situation rooms. Top military officers and political leaders are woken up or pulled out of meetings. They may only have 10 to 20 minutes to decide what to do before enemy missiles reach their own cities, bases, and launch sites. This is the most dangerous moment in human history. Leaders now believe a real attack is underway. They have almost no time, and their information is not perfect. Do they launch their own nuclear weapons in response? Do they wait for actual explosions to confirm? Do they risk losing their own missiles on the ground if they hesitate? Most nuclear powers have plans to get their submarines, bombers, and land-based missiles moving quickly so they cannot all be destroyed at once. If they choose to fire back, more missiles rise into the sky from the other side. At this point, even if someone realizes there was a mistake, it may already be too late to stop what has been set in motion. Civil defense systems, where they still exist, may start to activate. In some countries, sirens might sound in major cities. Emergency messages might be pushed to phones, radio, and television. But in many places, people would have no warning at all. Between about 15 and 30 minutes after launch, the first nuclear warheads begin to arrive on their targets. Major cities, military bases, ports, airfields, and command centers are hit. We do not need to go into graphic detail. It is enough to say that inside the blast zones, destruction would be extreme, and millions of people could die in the very first wave. Power lines, highways, airports, fuel depots, and communication hubs are damaged or destroyed. Fire, shock waves, and debris make rescue efforts almost impossible in the worst areas. In some regions, high-altitude nuclear blasts could create a strong electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, that damages or shuts down large parts of the electrical grid and many electronic systems. This could knock out power, internet, radio, and mobile networks over huge regions in seconds. For people far from the targets, the first sign that something is wrong might be very simple. The lights go out. The phone network stops working. The internet fails. You hear a few random, panicked messages. And then silence. By the end of the first hour, much of the initial nuclear exchange is over. Some missiles were intercepted. Some failed on their own. But many reached their targets. Outside the blast zones, the situation is deeply confusing. There is little clear information. Social media is full of rumors and fake news. Some radio and TV stations are off the air. Governments may broadcast emergency messages from hardened bunkers, but not everyone will hear them. Air traffic control systems are heavily disrupted. Many flights are ordered to land immediately. Some pilots lose contact with the ground and have to make their own choices. Ports may be closed. Trains stop on the tracks. Cash machines and online banking stop working in many areas. Inside underground bunkers and surviving command centers, leaders on each side are trying to understand what is left. How much damage did we take? How many missiles do we still have? How much can the enemy still fire? Do we keep going, or do we try to stop? The risk of follow-up strikes is very high, especially if one side believes the other is still preparing to attack. As the second, third, and fourth hours pass, a new reality begins to appear. Near the target areas, any hospital or emergency system that survived is quickly overloaded. Roads are blocked with debris or with cars that ran out of fuel. Power has gone across huge regions. People are trying to reach family members, find shelter, or get to medical care, often without success. In other parts of the world, people are stuck to whatever news they can find. If stock markets are still working, they crash hard. Governments declare states of emergency. Some countries close their borders and their airspace, afraid that the war will spread. International organizations like the United Nations try to contact surviving leaders to push for a ceasefire. But many lines of communication are broken, jammed, or under strict military control. At sea, surviving submarines and naval ships are still on high alert. No one is sure whether more missiles will be launched. Some satellites in orbit may have been blinded or destroyed, making navigation, weather forecasts, and global communication even more difficult. By the end of the first day, it is clear that the world has changed. In many countries, millions of people are without power, clean water, or clear information. Government buildings, financial centers, and transport hubs in key cities may no longer exist. International trade has almost completely stopped. Oil tankers, container ships, and air cargo are sitting still. Food and fuel shortages could begin within days. Financial systems are frozen. Digital payments fail. Even if your money still exists in theory, you may not be able to reach it. Surviving governments are trying to re-establish command and control, to defend whatever parts of their territory they still can, and to decide whether to keep fighting or somehow open negotiations. And remember, we are only talking about the first 24 hours. In the days, weeks, and months that follow, there would be long-term effects on health, agriculture, climate, and politics that we are not even covering in this video. The point is simple. In a large nuclear war between major powers, there is no real winner. Not the United States, not Russia, not China, not any other nuclear-armed state. There are only different levels of loss and destruction. That is why, even in very serious crises, nuclear-armed countries invest so much in deterrence, in communication, and in diplomacy. Because the real goal is not to win a nuclear war. The real goal is to make sure it never happens. What do you think? Do nuclear weapons make the world safer by stopping big wars? Or more dangerous by creating the risk of one terrible mistake? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I read as many as I can. If this video helped you understand the reality behind nuclear war more clearly, please like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to trendScope Global for more simple explanations of military power and global politics. Turn on the notification bell so you do not miss our next deep dive. This is trendScope Global. Stay informed. Stay aware. See you in the next video.